I tend to butcher names like really bad.
It's it's fine. I mean, a lot of people butcher my names, which is weird because I did mention on one of my episodes, I'm like, the black community knows how to pronounce my name very well, and it's like, oh, I guess I'm sure they know how to with some of the names they have, but a lot of people do have problem pronouncing my name, so I'm like, here, I'll just throw you a bone. Just call me
Yuli.
Yuli.
Well, I can't fuck up Yuli, and if I fuck up Yuli, then I shouldn't have a microphone or a podcast.
Trust me, I've heard other podcasters fuck up a lot of names.
Yeah, well, I tend to do it. So what's up, man? Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Gill. It's everything's been pretty good lately. Just working on my own stuff.
Yeah, how's that going? I seen that like a local Houston newspaper actually did an article on you and your podcast.
Yeah, that happened a couple months ago. It was pretty cool. They sent me an email and like, hey, we want to do an article on your podcast. And I was like, this is a joke, right? Someone's sending me a fucking, spam email. But no, they were real. I looked them up and checked out some of their Instagram page and their website. And I was like, oh, cool shit, it's real. So they were like, yeah, we just need some photos of you. Write down the description. It's not really like an interview. They just give you like questions to fill out and stuff like that. So my girlfriend was like, well, we need to take some good pictures of you because you have shit quality pictures. And I was like, okay. So we did a little photo shoot at this coffee shop down the street from our apartment. And it was pretty fun. So I used all those pictures for a good majority around the things. So, but yeah, that was pretty cool having a little article about me because I never really had anything like that.
Isn't it weird that you had to like go and verify somebody sending you an email to be on some type of media network?
Yeah, man, it's weird. It's like I think that's just our generation where like we have to verify because we don't know who the fuck is sending us shit. I mean, hopefully, I'm sorry if I'm cursing. If that's cool, right?
Yeah, you can say fuck shit.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I don't want to be like this is a G-rated family film, podcast or whatever. But yeah, dude, I think with our millennial generation, we have to like verify things because we just can't be, willy nilly like, oh well, the IRS sent me, $20,000. Just click this email and be sent right to your checking and savings. I was like, no. Especially with all those spam emails you get from like African princes from like,
I haven't gotten one of those. I haven't been lucky enough to get anything from any prince or princess. I think that'd be cool.
I think they've got enough money already,
right?
So I think they stopped sending emails.
Like why would they send somebody, my age in Southern California? It's like, dude, do you see the car I drive? Like, why are you calling and asking me for money? I don't understand that.
It's like I drive up a beat up Corolla, dude. What the fuck?
It's funny. Yeah, it's super funny. It's funny that you had to verify that because even my girlfriend, she works at like a very popular coffee shop in Long Beach and San Fernando Valley in Southern California, and I guess I think it was CBS or some CNN or some news outlet reached out to her, and they're asking like all these things, and she was like, oh, okay, cool, seems kind of legit. But towards the end, they were asking for like a media fee of like $3,000 or something like that. And they've done media outlets before, like on ABC 7 News, I think KTLA, and none of them asked for like a media fee like that. So she was just like, oh, I don't know about this. $3,000.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. I mean,
yeah, and I mean, if I was her, I'd be jumping up in the air Be like, oh, a newspaper not a newspaper, like a news outlet wants to fuck it, send them $3,000. Only because I was telling her, I was like, okay, well, it's $3,000. You figure they're a big, they're a big network. So, but she was like, no, you're an idiot. Why would you even consider that?
Yeah, I mean, it could be, if it's too good to be true, it's probably too good
Yeah.
to be true.
But that's cool, man. A local newspaper article. That's pretty legit.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to have that under my belt. So, fuck everybody I went to school with, because nobody's got a new article written about them. So they can all suck my dick.
Oh shit! Yes, that's fucking cool. Did you notice any like a change in listenership after that?
Maybe a little bit. There's a couple of maybe like 5 or 10 more listeners and stuff like that. I did get some people who were jealous.
Did you really?
Why are you getting
jealous of what? Of all your hard work?
One because I didn't. Okay, so there's a backstory around this, but we'll just say that I'll just give you the short answer. So there's this guy who I was working with, and he got upset because I didn't tell him before I told everybody else.
God.
And I really wanted to keep it a secret until like the article was out. And when it was out, he got like upset, and he was like, "What the hell? Why you didn't tell me?" And this and that. I'm supposed to be your best. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. It's like I want to tell everybody at the same time. The only person I told was like my girlfriend. So, I didn't tell anybody else, and everybody else found out at the same time. So, but yeah, there was a bump here and there, and like I said, I'm pretty sure there's people who are just like, mean mugging, looking through the screen, like this motherfucker gets an article written about him, and well, what about me with my 10 episodes and shit?
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, how many episodes are you at now?
So I just hit my 100th episode a couple weeks ago. So now I'm at like 103,
Sweet.
I think, or 102. Yeah. I should have hit 100 episodes like last year, because there was a couple times I didn't want to do an episode because, sometimes you're just like, I don't want to record. I'm tired. Or you don't feel it. So there was several times that happened, and I take breaks during the summertime just to, relax, reboot, recharge myself and stuff like that. So that's like a good 8 weeks, and I've done that for like 2 years already. So that's good, almost 20 episodes. So I would have been like 130 already by now, but I'd rather have taken breaks than, kind of power through it. So. But yeah, I'm at 100, 102, 103.
Nice, dude. That's my next small goal, is to get to 100. Like once after I see the triple digit, I'm like, yeah, triple digits.
Yeah, man. It kind of like it hits you in a way, because it's like all the hard work, all the hours you spent editing and recording, re-recording, getting guests, doing promotion and flyers. It hits you and you're like, damn, it's like all my hard work has gotten me here. It's really awesome. And it's kind of like, fuck, I've wasted so much time doing this. It's like for 100 episodes, it's like, but I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. It's a great accomplishment and a big milestone, for people who made 100 episodes.
It is a milestone. Definitely, man. Congratulations. If nobody has congratulated you, here it is. This is your congratulations from me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And that's all the ones I needed.
So how was Dallas?
Congratulations. Well, I only spent like maybe 45 minutes.
Hey, fuck it. That's 45 minutes more than I've spent in Dallas or Texas.
Well, it was kind of like on the outskirts of Dallas. So if we would sum it up in your area, I guess it would be like, not the Pasadena, kind of like on the outskirts of like LA and shit like that. Like on the outskirts, like a good maybe 30 minutes.
So you're
away.
familiar with LA and Southern California?
Yeah, I kind of have to be, because I have friends out there, and I have podcaster buddies, and I'm planning to go visit. So I kind of need to get familiar with the area, if I'm going to go and visit, because I don't want to end up in the wrong part of town and be like, hey guys, can you come get me? I don't know where the fuck I'm at, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, especially in downtown LA. Podcaster friend of mine, Bill from the Way Podcast, he did a road trip from Connecticut over to the West Coast, and I think he was on that trip for about like a week and a half, and he came down here. We did a in-person podcast, and I took him out to downtown because he wanted to eat Korean barbecue. And after we ate Korean barbecue at like 2 a.m. in the morning, he wanted to see downtown. And I'm like, dude, do you really want to see downtown LA at 3 o'clock in the morning? I don't think so. He's like, yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go walk. And I ended up taking him to like the middle of Skid Row. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Wow.
Yeah, I can see.
At like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I can see like the fear in his eyes, and I'm like, dude, this is a fucking bad idea. I didn't tell him it was a bad idea because it was my idea, but we were walking, and we walked. I think we walked like a good half a mile to Cecil Hotel.
Oh yeah, the one that was in the Netflix series.
Yeah, it was around the same time. It was around that same time that came up, because yeah, you don't want to go there at 3 a.m. You don't.
No, I don't think I want to eat food at like 2 in the morning. And I mean, coming from Houston's, like I think the latest I've eaten food is like 1 a.m. And especially that's when you go out and you know you're like, oh, I'm hungry, you know, and stuff like that. But we don't go to like. I mean, downtown is not bad. Our downtown is not bad. We don't have like a Skid Row, but there's a certain part of town you don't want to end up in because it's bad. But with gentrification, because that's such a great thing, it's not as bad as anymore. So it's getting pretty decent. But there are a lot of homeless people that will come and try to stab you for a quarter or two.
Yeah, I don't have hobo stab insurance. I didn't pick that up this year. I should have after 2020. I should have added that into my my 401k, but I kind of left it out. Wanted to keep that.
I'm pretty sure Gavin Newsom should have just been like, here, y'all got homeless people insurance just in case you get stabbed. I mean, let's give you all these other bills to follow. Might as well get, you know, insurance for getting stabbed by the homeless.
Yeah, especially with the amount of homelessness that's in LA County. I mean, I'm shocked that California doesn't have anything like that.
It'll soon. Hopefully, Gavin Newsom listens to this and just like, that's a good idea. Yeah. Let's charge people insurance for getting stabbed.
You heard it first on the Mindbuzz. All right. So
if it happens,
we get I better get an article in LA Times for that.
Hopefully you do. Hopefully I'll write them and be like, hey, look, we're the ones that came up with it. Here's the timestamp. So give Gill his
give us because we came up with the concept for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not going to take all the credit. So. Come on, Yuli.
You should. I mean, why not? I mean, fuck it. I mean, we have a homeless problem, but it's not as bad. And so, which is funny because when I think of homeless people, we do think of like them just coming in like droves of buses to like the West Coast and just getting off and be like, all right, well, this is my new home, Venice Beach. Got to find me a place underneath the fucking, you know, whatever to fucking stay and shit like that.
Yeah, Venice.
Over here's not.
Go ahead, Venice
Mike.
Beach is it's like a mecca for I think it's because like I read somewhere like on that subject why most people flock to Southern California or California in general is because of the weather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see
right.
that. I mean, it's like, 75 degrees every day, and then at night it gets really cool.
Yeah.
So it's like, what? I mean, Can't beat that.
Yeah,
I
it
have
gets cold, but not as cold as it does in probably maybe Texas or the East Coast.
no, it doesn't. So I have a friend of mine. His name is Jaime, or we call him Whiskey J. He is a podcaster of the Rambling Alcoholics Geek and Geek Out podcast out there in sunny California. And he was telling me that he came over here to Houston to visit his brother-in-law, and it rained. So, in his mind, it's like, oh, it's going to cool down. It's going to get, really chilly. I can wear like my jacket or my sweater. But his brother-in-law gave him a look and just said, no. And I laughed because it's like when it does rain, it gets really humid and muggy and just nasty. And you feel disgusting. So I find that funny that he thought it was going to get cooler once it rained, and it's like that never happens here. It just gets more disgusting and more nasty as the day goes. Oh my
That's
God.
yeah. This past couple days, today and yesterday, it was raining. Like it was pouring over here, but I mean tomorrow it's gonna be like 80 degrees probably. Yeah, we have that was probably our winter. That was winter for us. 2 days of constant rain, and then it's gonna go back to hot and sunny for the rest of the 363 days over here.
That's pretty cool that you guys don't really get like a winter where it's just like, oh, it got cold just a little bit. Over here, my God, you saw what happened last year. We had like a fucking like freeze. It was like ice age over here.
How the fuck how do you guys even like prepare for that?
The thing is, we don't. Our governor really didn't. I mean, nobody really in Texas assumes like that's gonna happen. Yeah. I mean, if you would have told us in November of like 2020, like, hey, you guys are gonna have like this major freeze, and you're gonna be out of power for like a good week or 2 or 3 weeks or even a month for some of you people, we would have fucking laughed at you. We would have taken off our masks, thrown it away, and laughed at you, and then get another mask and put it back on with the face shield. But yeah, dude, it was fucking insane. We don't really prepare for it because like it doesn't happen here. It rarely happens. I mean, we don't even get snow, but it does freeze, and it's just like there's no. I mean, we should have a preparation just in case it does happen because you never know. Like I said, our weather's very bipolar here in Texas, but. No, our Governor Greg Abbott doesn't have a plan. Hopefully, he does if he does get reelected. But whoever becomes the next governor has some kind of plan just in case this shit happens. So then we don't have to deal with that bullshit that we dealt for like a whole fucking week because that shit was insane.
Yeah, how do you in 2002 and almost 2003? Like in 2002, how do you plan for a huge state, by the way? To go into the next ice age or the Stone Age because you guys didn't have any electricity, right?
No, for like a good couple of days it was out, and then some people got electricity and some people didn't. Like my parents didn't get electricity until like the following Monday, I think, because we stayed with them. Well, of course I was staying at my parents. It's because I had went out for Valentine's Day with my girlfriend, and we knew it was gonna get cold, so we're like, oh, whatever, it's not gonna be bad, Texans here, you can tell us the apocalypse coming, like it's not gonna be that bad. So it snows, I think, like Sunday morning, and we're like, oh yeah, we're excited because it snowed, and then like around I think 3 or 4 in the afternoon, it just went woo, the power went out, and we're just like, okay, this is not fun anymore. It's like that meme, that SpongeBob meme that's like, this is not darkness, this is advanced darkness. It's like, it's cold and there's no power, there's no nothing. So we just sat there in the living room just like bundled up. Like, oh my God, when is the power going to come back on? But we did, like, I did go to her parents' house and they had power. So like, I was like, oh, okay, fuck it. We got power and take a shower and shit like that. But Yeah, a lot of people were like out for like a whole month without
A
power.
whole
It was
month?
ridiculous. Yeah, some people were out for a whole month. I mean, the whole state. A lot of people were out for a good amount of weeks.
Damn.
Yeah, it's that bad. So that's why a lot of people were like pissed, and they constantly bugged the governor. Were like, "Hey, look, you got this shit planned, right?" Because we were scared of that. It was going to happen last month. Because, you know, we hear rumblings, oh, there's going to be another freeze. So a lot of people are like,
Another freeze?
Got to get ready.
Another night.
Ice Age 2. You know, and here in Texas, I don't know if it's like that in California, but once you hear something, it's like, oh, I got to go buy all this water and all this food and build a bunker and this and this and that. I mean, people go crazy here in Texas. I mean, especially Houston, where, you know, one freeze for a couple days and people stock up for like 3 months. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Seriously?
Oh, no. Oh, no. I think people are out here, at least, are more concerned about Chris Rock and Will Smith than they are going into the next Ice Age. People will still be on their phones if there's an Ice Age out here in Southern California. They'll still be on their phones, you know, tweeting and sharing shit about Chris Rock and Will Smith.
That was crazy, dude. I mean, we couldn't communicate with anybody because like all our power lines were down. So like we couldn't get on Instagram, we couldn't get on like Facebook, couldn't really text that much because like the phone lines were so fucking frozen. So it was like a good couple of days before everybody was like on their phone. We were just trying to reach out to each other. And I was supposed to do an episode that week, but I told the person, yeah, we're going through an ice age here, so we're just gonna have to reschedule. He was like, okay, that's fine. You know, I understand.
I wonder how many pregnancies came out of that. I mean, if I didn't have Netflix, if I didn't have, you know, my phone, or if I didn't do a podcast, like, what's the next best thing?
That's a good question. I mean, it was super cold. Who knows? I mean, that does kind of keep you warm after like a good 30 seconons. And then you're just like, okay, I'm freezing here with my nuts off.
Get off of me now.
Get your hands off me.
Yeah, get off of me. Get off of me.
And then with no showers, so you.
Oh yeah,
like
that's right. Like, oh shit.
Days on end.
Damn, imagine just constant sex with no shower. Still with you have to have your mask on though. The face shield.
It doesn't smell that bad.
Well, in that case, masks come in handy.
To a degree, I guess. If you have a good ones, those cloth ones don't work.
How's the COVID thing?
I mean, Dr. Fauci will probably
How's the COVID thing out there at the moment?
Oh man.
If there is.
As soon as they
If there is a COVID thing out there.
There's not. As soon as they told us, oh, we're banning the mandate, we were just like, you know, the most fucking stereotype Texan you can think of. Shooting our guns up and riding our horses, without taking off our mask. But right now, I mean, nobody really cares anymore. There are some sticklers out there that'll still wear their mask, which is like, hey, look, that's cool with you. If you feel comfortable like that, or if you are actually sick, hey, you know, more power to you. But I mean, everything's ready to go. I mean, they're still kind of doing like the whole COVID, you know, like COVID cards, like to go to like shows and stuff like that, which I think is kind of stupid now. But it's like, if that's what the artist wants, that's fine, you know. Like Tim Dillon, if you're familiar with Tim Dillon, the comedian, he's coming to Houston, and I was like, oh hell yeah, you know, I want to go see him. And when I went to go look how much the tickets were, they had the little text. Oh, he wants people to have a negative test and this and this and that. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, all this shit that he says on his podcast about COVID and this and this and that, and this motherfucker is like, hey, I need you guys to have a negative COVID test or proof of vaccination. I was like, what the fuck? I still might go, so who knows?
But I think it's more. I don't think it's his decision. I think it's more the venue that he's at.
Maybe so, because I mean, there have been a lot of more shows of people who. Well, that didn't sound right. There've been a lot of shows where a lot of bands have been like lenient with that. They're like, oh, you don't need a mask. Like I went to one show of this band called Interwave, and we needed proof of vaccination. I had said proof, and we all went in. We had a good time, and then I went to a show a couple weeks later, and they really didn't need that. So it was kind of like, okay, I think it's really like the management of the group or the bands or stuff like that. But it's kind of like,
so it was at the same venue. Same venue, two different artists, but one needed the vaccination card and the other did not. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I see where you're coming from then. Then, yeah, I mean, it could be some type of, booking management. That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. That's what I was saying. It's like, excuse me, he's like one of them that's like talk shit about the mandate and the mask and this and that, and he's like, oh, I need proof of vaccination. I was like, yeah, I mean, he's already caught it before. I mean, I'm a big listener of Tim Dillon show and stuff like that, and I just thought it was really funny that he's the one person that like wants it required for his show, and he's against it.
That's like
Oh my god,
that's like going to see Alex Jones, and he's requiring vaccination mandates from everybody to come see his show.
He's like, I need vaccination.
Yeah,
I'm in Austin. We do everything weird, but I need a vaccination card.
Is he from Austin too?
Yeah,
he's from Texas.
He's a big Texas guy, big Texas guy, and a lot of people from Texas don't want him here, but he's a crazy guy. But he's entertaining.
He's very entertaining.
I can say that.
Very entertaining.
Yes. Have you ever watched a Alex Jones episode on YouTube?
Which one?
Any of them?
Oh yeah.
Just any regular.
Yeah. My favorite one, I have to look it up, but keep talking. I'll tell you my favorite one because I've talked about it before.
There was an episode because I mean I've listened to him like on Joe Rogan and stuff like that, and I've seen his clips. So I was like, let me listen to like a full episode on YouTube. I did. I fell asleep, and when I woke up to a image of a Chinese dragon doing a horrible Chinese accent talking about COVID, and I was like, what the fuck did I stumble onto? I was like, I did not expect this on an Alex Jones show. And I was like, this is weird to wake up to. I was like, I'm hearing him talking about like all these mask mandates and conspiracy theories, and then I wake up to like this Chinese dragon like talking in a very inappropriate Chinese stereotype.
So it was on Joe Rogan Experience, or was that on?
No, it was on
his
Alex Jones
his
show.
podcast on what is it called?
Yeah. Infowars.
Infowars, yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was really weird. I was like, what the fuck did I wake up to?
My personal favorite, I found it. I actually have a clip of it of me talking about it on my YouTube channel. It was episode 1255. It was Alex Jones. I believe Tim Dillon was part of that episode, and it was Joe Rogan. Dude, that was the wildest fucking 2 hours I've ever spent watching that podcast. But it was awesome. They actually pulled it from. It was one of the many episodes that they pulled from Spotify. Yeah, but he gets into some weird stuff about about the government and the only way to see certain entities. He was saying that there's aliens that we cannot see. That the only way that we can see them is if we do some type of drug that is provided by the aliens, which is it's not far-fetched, because if anybody has ever had a psychedelic experience or DMT trip. Like, you see these entities, and how he was telling them, what he was saying and how he was telling it was, you smoke this, or you ingest this type of drug, and you're able to communicate with these entities. So the government, from what he's saying, from his narrative, is that the government is on acid, and they are talking to these entities, and that's the only way. And the reason why they don't want regular people outside the government to do drugs is because of these entities. Only the U.S. government wants to talk to these people.
Yeah, that doesn't sound far-fetched
No.
at all. I mean, I'd believe it. I mean, most of these drugs are like issued from the government. Yeah. DMT, acid, LSD. They're all like science experience from the government. So it's like, I could see that where it's like, they don't want you to take these because of unknown species that you might have come in contact with and stuff like that. So I can see that. I mean, a lot of his theories sound ridiculous as fuck, but a lot of them have been proven true.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I think he is onto something.
He drew me in with the Bohemian Grove theory.
Yeah, he talks about that.
Right. I think he was the guy. He actually took like a camera into, like, he got invited, right, to the Bohemian Grove, and he took a camera and he was videotaping and taking pictures.
Yeah, I heard about that. I think he talks about that.
He made a documentary too.
It's like,
I think he made a documentary about it.
Yeah, I saw that. I need to check that out. I mean, I know he talks about that a lot, and it's like that secret society of like presidents and famous people coming together and doing these sacrifices and shit like that. So it's like, that doesn't seem it's fictional at all. It's like, yeah, no, I mean, people call it Hollyweird, so it's like, okay, let me try to get, as podcasters, let's see if we can get big enough to where we can get invited and be like, okay, it's just.
I feel like, timeshare. That's perfect. I vacation there, every so often. When it gets too hot in Southern California, I like to go to Bohemian Grove and, fuck billionaires. However, have you heard the one about him and Bill Hicks?
No,
have you heard that conspiracy about him and Bill Hicks? So Bill Hicks died. Oh, the comedian Bill Hicks died in, I think, like 93, 94. So they're saying, the conspiracy goes that Bill Hicks faked his death, and the CIA the CIA, because, hold on, I'm fucking the story up. So Bill Hicks, if you heard any of his stand-up, he's a far left comedian. He always talked about the war, always talked about the progressiveness of psychedelics, drugs, weed. He was very progressive. He was far left comedian, and according to the conspiracy, the government was onto him. So I guess they wanted him to have a CIA handler, and the CIA handler told him he had to fake his death. And because of the amount of knowledge he gained throughout his time as a comedian, that they wanted him to fake his death and, I don't know, become Alex Jones. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's fucking weird. They kind of look like each other. I don't see it, but a lot of people see it. I have a friend of mine, Adam. He's always on the podcast, and he every time I talk about Bill Hicks is one of my favorite comedians. And he was like, dude, you're listening to Alex Jones. Like, you think Alex Jones is funny? And I'm just like, no, I don't. Bill Hicks is funny. Alex Jones, I don't know. He's very entertaining, though.
Yeah, he is very entertaining. Let me look up because I know who Bill Hicks is, but like I want to see the pictures again, comparing.
Yeah, Bill Hicks.
Yeah, I can kind of see it. I think with the eyes, but I think he would have to like do like major like plastic surgery on his face to like even remotely change his look. But I think they're just two white guys that look the same. I mean, they do say white people look alike, so it's like,
do they?
You know, some do. You know, I mean, they say that about every culture, every race. You know, there's like 20 other Hispanic guys that look exactly like me with the glasses and long hair, and you know, I get mistaken for. They're like, "Hey, aren't you Jesus?" I'm like, "Who?" It's like, "That's not my. No." I'm like, "Yeah, we went to high school together." I was like, "What year?" Oh, 2013. I was like, "Dude, I graduated in like 2011." What the
the timeline is off, even like with Alex Jones and Bill Hicks. But did you find it? Because on TexasMonthly.com, there's an article that came out in 2014.
14, yeah.
The conspiracy theory that Alex Jones is actually legendary, long dead Texas comedian Bill Hicks.
Yeah, that's when the art. That's
you
when
can see the pic.
That's when the magazine started going down.
That's when the what?
The magazine started like declining in popularity, so everyone's just like, nobody reads the Texas Monthly.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, he did.
Unless you're like
he died in 1994. Yeah, I don't see it.
No, they look like two white guys that kind of look alike. They might be like distant cousins or something like that. You know, who knows?
I can see that. I can definitely see that. Bill Hicks was a great comedian.
Yeah, I mean, if Bill Hicks is Alex Jones, you would think that his jokes would be a little bit more funnier. I mean, Alex Jones can be funny in some ways, but like you would have like great comedic timing. Alex Jones.
Yeah, he runs wild on the mic.
Yeah,
I feel like he's gonna like die on the mic. If I'm watching him like on his show or on another podcast, he's just like so animated. He jumps out of the fucking screen.
Yeah, he does. He gets really aggressive. He's like you can see like his neck bulging out and the veins and him turning red. You're like, God damn it, Joe Rogan, you know, and shit like this, and you know, why can't you believe me? I'm fucking drugs and stuff like that, you know. He's just a weird individual, but it's like it's so Texan in a way because a lot of Texans do get upset like that, but it's, you know, he does get really aggressive. He's an aggressive person. And I feel bad. And it's funny because he'll apologize. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be like that. You know, I'm trying to control my anger and stuff like that. But then he goes on another rant, you know, and shit like that.
Yeah, on that episode 1255 on JRE, he like brings like this thick manila folder full of like documents and stuff that he wanted to bring and discuss to you know, on the podcast. It's just that whole fucking you can probably find it on Reddit. I don't even think it's on YouTube. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but I
might have listened to it. I might have listened to it. I don't remember because I know I've listened to one where it was him, Tim Dillon, and Joe Rogan, and there's some other ones too where it was just him, Alex Jones, and like his buddy Eddie Bravo and stuff like that too. So I've listened to some of the ones where it's like Alex Jones. He hasn't been on in like a good while.
I think 1255 was the last one he was on. Was it? No, because that was the old studio. Yeah, I think that was the old studio. I'm not sure.
The red one or the one he had in California?
The one he had in California.
Oh no, I think they did one where he was at that red studio that everyone hated. I think they did an episode there, but I think it's been a while since he's had him on. But I'm pretty sure he connects with him because I mean Joe lives in Austin and Alex lives in Austin, so it's like I don't see why they probably don't hang out with each other. Adam
Curry is also from Austin, Texas. Tom Segura went out to Texas.
Yeah, I saw that. He's on tour. Actually.
He is. Yeah, I've seen. I've become quite a fan of Two Bears, One Cave.
I don't know. There's a lot of funny episodes that he's had on Joe Rogan. I'm just like, what the fuck? Him and like Burt Kreischer and shit like that. So I wanted to see him on tour, but I think I missed the date that he was coming to Houston. So I was like, nah. I don't watch him on the podcast.
Oh yeah, Burt Kreischer is hilarious too. I've listened to Burt Cast.
Yeah, he is. He is. I'm waiting on that fucking movie that he's been talking about.
He's coming out with a movie?
I'm like, some movie, like, it's like loosely based on his life or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, he talks about it like a good couple of times on an episode where he was like, I think he was like called the Machine back in college, and National Lampoon like did a movie like using him, but it wasn't like him. It was just like they created this character that was kind of like based on him, and this and this and that, and that they made a movie about his life, and that there was like some like fighting scenes and shit like that. So I'm like, where the fuck is this movie, Bert? You talking all this shit about this fucking movie. Where the fuck is the movie, man? It's been like 2 years already, 3 years. So, and there's no update, there's no trailer, there's no nothing. And I'm like, this movie's
it's coming,
bullshit, man.
It's coming.
I don't know.
I heard a news article on Texas Monthly about it. It's got to be true.
It must have been a lie.
It's got to be true.
Must have been a lie.
It's got to be true if it's coming from Texas Monthly.
Oh man, I don't trust newspapers or articles like that anymore. I don't even watch the news anymore.
No.
I'm just like, no.
Where do you get your news from, Yuli?
I mean, I do get it from Facebook, but most of the time, I really don't give a shit about the news. So, around 2020, the whole pandemic, and even before that, like, I just got really tired of seeing just negativity. I followed like all the news outlets: Fox, ABC, CBS, CNN, NBC, all, the typical, just to get like, I want to be updated, I want to be in the now, or whatever. But after the whole George Floyd riots and all this stuff that was going on, I was just like, nah, this is just negative shit, man. Everything that they put out is just negative. Even on the news, it's negative. That's, So I made the decision, I think it was like 2021, to like get rid of like all the news media outlets that I was following on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and just, not hear anything from them. And actually, I've been a lot happier, to be honest. I mean, once you see an article on Facebook and you start going in the comment section and start arguing with people and shit like that, you just feel like you just get more mad, and it's just negativity, man. It's like, fuck it, dude. I don't want to deal with that shit. I dealt with like racist people in the comment section of stupid articles, and I was just like, nah, man, I'm done. It's like, if I'm gonna hear the news, I'll check it out on like, I don't know, I'll get a news update on my phone, stuff like that. Like, I didn't even hear about the whole January 6th thing till like 2 or 3 days later. Yeah, like I was helping out somebody doing a podcast, and their mother was talking about it, and they were like, that whole thing had happened at the Capitol is such tragedy. And I'm like, what the fuck happened at the Capitol? And then like I saw what happened, and I was like, oh, okay. Not that bad, But yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how did this shit happen? And then people started like unraveling what happened. I looked into it, and I was like, oh, okay. Whatever, life goes on. Fuck it. So,
yeah,
it's funny because I did talk
I was deep into that. I was deep into it. Like that day, that hour.
The thing itself, the whole conspiracy and everything like that. So
yeah, I was deep in that day. I was sharing like crazy. I was clipping, videos and posting them. I've since taken them all down off of. I think it was on the podcast page. that I was sharing all that stuff, and I was just like, I don't know, I was fucking bored, and I was like, oh shit, there's fucking
It's like, this is
there's
exciting.
fucking people climbing trying to get into the nation's capital and trying to fucking rape Nancy Pelosi and the other fucking old
AOC
fuck
and shit
that
like
nobody likes.
No, it was funny because like they were talking like about AOC and how she was feared for her life and that they were gonna come and kill her, and then it comes to find out she was like down the street in another building, and I was like, wow, bitch, you fucking, why do you have to lie?
Oh, so she
It
wasn't
makes no sense.
there?
No, she was in like a different building, like down the street from the Capitol. She wasn't even in the Capitol, but she made it sound like she was there and that people were gonna come and kill her and this and that. And I was like, bitch, what the fuck? why do you have to like build up this whole lie about yourself? I mean, I did see the pictures of like the whole guy with the bull horns.
Oh,
and
I
stuff
loved
like
him.
that, with the
I was that was so attractive. Like that was just
That's America, right
yeah,
there.
exactly. The only thing is that kind of fucked it all up was he was calling himself a shaman, and he just took back the psychedelic community fucking 200 years back. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
I think there was another article that I was reading about. They're like, crazy, whatever. I'm not gonna even fucking bother looking it up, but I guess the article was saying that, their rioter shaman regularly takes mushrooms and this and that, and it was like, dude, you're just adding, you're adding that part of his life just to, negatively talk about mushrooms. It's like, I don't know, like if I was on mushrooms, and if and when I'm on mushrooms, I'm probably not gonna go anywhere near any type of federal facility. I'll tell you that one. I'll tell you that much right now.
I don't even think I'll get out of bed.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll leave my
right?
apartment. I'd just be like, what the fuck? I've wanted to take mushrooms before, or some sort of psychedelics, but I just never get to because I'm just like afraid when to take it, and then like I'm always working, and I'm afraid of like getting drug tested, and they're like, "Hey man, are you on mushrooms?" I'm like, "Oh no, fucking crazy spaceman."
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's since the last time I looked at it, I don't know. There's probably new research going on now, but the last time that I've seen that it's untraceable, and not many in-home kits or at like a lot of kits that employers use don't test for psilocybin or any tryptamines, and tryptamines are usually detected in DMT and LSD, and psilocybin that's a psychedelic compound that's in magic mushrooms, and it most facilities don't even have a test for that. I don't even think there's a test for that. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't think so, but I did have a little problem with some drug tests with my job. I think I was telling you that off air before we started. So I used to smoke. I don't do so much anymore because just I don't like the coughing. I don't like the grinding up and then putting it in my little.
It's too much work. Too much work for a pothead.
It is too much work.
You think about that?
So I was just like, fuck it, dude. I'm just gonna take edibles, and edibles. I feel better. It's like I just pop a brownie or pop a whatever in my mouth. So I've been taking these Delta 8 gummies.
Delta 8? Okay.
And
it's a cool
Delta
name.
8. So I was like, okay, hey, they have all these different flavors, different brands, stuff like that. You can find them at like your local smoke shops. And the high is it's very chill. Like you feel like you're high, but not it's not overbearing. It's just like a good enough high where you're just like, yeah. And I had taken one Thursday, and we went to go do this photo shoot, and I was high taking photos, and I was just like, oh fuck, this is just fucking awesome. I'm outside. It's windy. I'm
Oh,
taking
yeah.
photos. What worse can happen? And then I think a couple of days later, we took another edible, a different gummy. So I was like, fuck it, yeah. And I had to go take a drug test because since I'm a truck driver, I have to update my medical card every year or two, like a couple weeks before it expires. So I was like, fuck. I was like, I took this damn gummy. They say it's not traceable, but let me take a test just to make sure. So like the next day, I took a drug test and it came out positive, and I was like, fuck. I was like, and I had my what's it called? My temp agency kept asking me, "Oh, when are you going to take this test? When are you going to go renew your medical card?" And I'm like, "Fuck!" It's like I gotta lie and say I'm fucking busy, and I was just like, I was paranoid because I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to go take this test, and then I come out positive, and I can't get my medical card, and then I can't drive, and I don't have."
Wait, so what's a medical card?
So pretty much, drivers have to go and get like a checkup. Make sure their vision's good, make sure they don't have any drugs in their system, make sure you can move and stuff like that the state requires. So I've been doing it for a couple years now, and like I said, that's the only way you can operate a class B vehicle or class A vehicles if you have your medical card updated. So like I said, I kept postponing it because I kept coming up positive, and I was like, fuck. So I kept buying tests thinking like, oh, it'll be one positive and one negative.
Yeah.
And I was getting worried because like I've never had this happen to me before. So I was like, fuck. I was like, how am I supposed to pass this test? So I think like that following Friday, she was like, hey, you got hit with a random drug test, so we need you to go take a test. And I was like, fuck. It's like, I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna lose my job. Like once I start thinking negatively, it just like
start spiraling.
Yeah. So I go, and then I get like pee shy.
Oh, it's one of those tests?
Thanks. Yeah, it's like a piss test. Like, I had to take a random drug test because I'm with the company. But when you do your DOT physical, you do have to do a drug test just to make sure like there's no drugs in your system, which is like they're not gonna stay over like 6 months.
Yeah.
But they don't want you to be like, oh, you fucking smoked weed, a couple days before the drug test, because then they'll fail you. But I did the drug test, and then I went to go take the DOT medical test that I had to. And the nurse does it, and she was like, oh, you're clean. You just need to drink more water. And I was like, oh, thank God. It's like I waited a whole week to do this thing, and then I didn't even get the full years that I needed. I got like 2 fucking months. Because other shit, which is fucking stupid, man. It's like I filled out my medical form to say that and I was honest because, you want to be honest about your health and shit like that. And I put that I snore, thinking it was not going to be a problem. They would just be like, hey, just lose some weight because you're a fat fuck. You'll be good. No, the doctor was like, oh, you need to take a sleep apnea test. And I was like, fuck. He's like, you got 6 months. Bring us the data and we'll pass you.
Wow.
I was like, fuck that. I was like, I'm not going to do a sleep apnea test. So I postponed it. And then I went to another facility thinking that they were going to pull me up on their records. And they did. And I was like, oh, fuck. So the guy was like, I'm going to just give you 2 months. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with 2 months? So I have to go take a sleep apnea test. Or I can just go somewhere else and get the test done. So
currently you still have to go take a sleep apnea test.
Yeah, I have to go. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. I just don't want to. It's my body, my choice.
I got that.
But I guess it's just like, might as well, And then my temp agency is like, hey, when are you gonna go take this test? And I'm like, fuck, just stop asking me, please. I just want to work.
Just want to work.
Just give me a job. It's
just want to drive.
Because I just got recently let go from another job. I was working for like 8 months, and I was like, "What the?" They just randomly hit me with like, "Hey, we're letting go all the temp drivers. It was nice working with you. Good luck." And I was like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah.
Like the day of, I was like, "This is fucking ridiculous. Fuck you, Goodwill."
What other drugs did they test for besides marijuana?
I think it was just marijuana.
What?
I think that's really
Well,
yeah.
okay, I don't agree with it, but I do understand why you wouldn't want a driver to smoke weed, because if a driver wants to smoke weed, they, not.
But there's tons of these people who do that and do harder
Yeah.
drugs and they still drive.
Yeah.
I mean, what's worse? Having a little weed in your system or, a fat person behind the wheel? They're going to take the fat person behind the wheel. They're going to be like, "Oh, yeah, you have weed in your system, but you need to lose weight." And it's like, "Bitch, no, I don't. Leave me alone. Let me just work." Fuck, I really think that they just need to just make weed legal, man. Fuck it. Who's it hurting? Nobody.
I actually heard that they
know?
were going to lift that's actually going to be a bill for, I think this year. They're going to lift the federal prohibition on weed.
That's if Joe Biden agrees with it, but who knows where the fuck he's at right now.
Yeah. Some cornfield.
So.
Oh,
Kamala. Fuck.
Where am I?
Where am I? Donald.
Is weed legal yet?
And you just hear Trump. It's like, no, you're on some harder shit, Joe, But, I mean, it's been like, what, almost 100 years since they made marijuana illegal. It's like, who cares, man? It's a part of the culture now. People are doing it. I mean, why? Might as well just make it legal and then make some money off of it. Fuck it, capitalize it when you can.
What's the status like in Texas? Like, what's the...
I think it's still illegal, but it's like, I think if you have like a certain amount on you, they won't like give you a ticket or anything like that. It's like a very like small amount. So I think even if you have like a gram or two, I think it's, they're not going to do anything. But if you have like more than that, they'll give you a ticket and shit like that, or arrest you or whatever. But people smoke it here all the time. They do in front of the cops. I've done it in front of security guards, cops, whatever. Who fucking? I mean, people do it. I mean, even I've been pretty sure the cops do it on their own time. So it's like, why even hold them against it? Just like make it legal, fuck it. But a lot of people are nervous because if Greg Abbott gets reelected, he's Republican, he's gonna kind of want to go against that. But I'm not sure if Beto O'Rourke is on that, if like he wants to make weed legal, but I'm just like, just fuck it. Who cares, man? Who cares if you piss off your fucking party? Just make it legal, man. It'll help out so many other people. I mean, weed's not just used for what's it called? For like not pleasure, but for personal shit. It's also used for medical things and stuff like that. People that have schizophrenia, people that deal with seizures. So it's like, dude, just help them out a little bit.
Yeah, marijuana definitely has huge amounts of health benefits, not just cognitively, but physically.
Yeah, it's people dealing with depression, people dealing with, not sleeping. It's like, it helps, it definitely helps me after I take a Delta 8 gummy. Like, I'll go to sleep and I'll just feel like I'm sleeping on clouds, man. I'm like, with my sleep.
Maybe,
choking in my
dude,
sleep.
maybe that's the reason why they told you that you might have sleep apnea is because of these edibles that you're eating.
Maybe. I don't know. It kind of runs in my family.
Have you read the labels?
It's
maybe the label there. Maybe there's a warning label on the edible that says may cause sleep apnea. You ever take a look at that?
No, I don't think it's the edibles. Okay. But I have read like some of them. But I don't think it's edibles. I think it's just because I'm a fat. And it runs in the family.
So are you gonna go get the test?
So,
Now I'm asking you. Your job's asking you, and now
well,
I'm gonna follow up in the next week.
all the Mindbuzz community is gonna be messaging me through my podcast page. Hey, did you get that sleep apnea test yet? Yes, I'm working on it. There's one that's for in home, so I can sleep here in my home and do
Okay,
the test
that's
and shit
good.
like that. But I'm kind of like it's like $160.
What for a
I'm kind of
test?
like, man, yeah. For
You're
a fucking
charging me
test
to
that
take a
takes
test so I can go work? That makes no sense.
You gotta make money somehow.
That makes no sense.
Exactly. So it's like either do the test or kind of like just wait a good amount of time to like go to another clinic where they won't know who you are and just be like, yeah, I'm good, And it's funny because I have other truck driver friends. Some of my family are truck drivers. And I told them, they're like, you're a fucking moron. And I'm like, why? I was just being honest, and they're like, you always fucking lie. Who cares if you have glaucoma, if you have diabetes? Just fucking lie.
That's good you're honest, though.
It's your livelihood.
Yeah, right? It's your livelihood.
I shouldn't have been.
That's good you're honest.
I shouldn't have been.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have been.
at that moment. Now you know for the next time.
Yeah, that's why I thought that it would work out again. I was like, I might as well just go to Austin and go do this test. Fuck it if I'm here, So
There's something about going into a hospital and going to sleep and having them evaluate you. I've never looked up to. Actually, I'm gonna look it up right now.
It's weird. It's kind of like, like when people say they get abducted by aliens. It's kind of what it is. I mean, you're on a slab, asleep. And they have these things hooked up to you, and they're just watching you sleep. It's like, yo, that's creepy, bro. It's like, why are you watching me sleep? I'm fine, while I'm choking, in my sleep. It's really weird. I mean, I don't want nobody watching me sleep.
Tests to detect sleep apnea include nocturnal. I think that's the medical term for it. Nocturnal polysomnography. Somnography? Nocturnal polysomnography. I'm probably butchering that. During this test, you're hooked up to equipment that monitors your heart, lung and brain activity, breathing patterns, arm and leg movements, and blood oxygen levels while sleeping. Yeah, having all that shit hooked up to you while you're trying to fucking sleep.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable. And then if you do have sleep apnea, they give you one of those CPAP machines, and you're like hooked up. Yeah, you're hooked up to it, and you're just like,
Yeah, those.
It's like you're like a fucking robot.
Those things, yeah.
This thing helping you breathe. It's very uncomfortable and not really sexy at all. So.
No, and that's the goal. We got to be sexy while we sleep, us males.
Exactly. Hey, my girlfriend was like, hey, you were choking in your sleep. You kind of stopped for a little bit. I was like, hey, fuck it.
Choke me. I like to be choked while I'm sleeping on my sleep apnea machine.
There's a thing I say, and a lot of people hate when I say it because they think I'm being very insensitive. But from the words of the great Aubrey Graham, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
So, I like it.
If I choke up my sleep, hey, bro. At least I'm asleep. But it kind of it means a lot to her because her uncle passed away from that, and he had really, really bad, sleep apnea. So it it's kind of sensitive to them, to her and her family, but it's kind of like I'm okay, I'm not gonna die. But I see a lot of billboards. Like, you might die in your sleep if you have sleep apnea. I was like,
maybe this is a Texas thing.
Just what I needed.
I've never seen a billboard out here like that.
I have to send it to you one of these days. I'll take a picture when I see one and then send it to you and be like, look.
You got to verify it.
I mean, a billboard for sleep apnea. Yeah, exactly. I mean, because I could be saying bullshit and people would not believe me.
See, my thing, if I go take a test like this and go to a hospital and sleep and they have to test me overnight, I'd probably have like the worst the worst nocturnal emissions in that hospital. You know what that is?
No, tell me a little bit about it.
That's wet dreams.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. I can see myself and be like, hey, bro, I can't sleep. I usually like jerk off
Yeah.
before I sleep. Can y'all like get out of here for like a good 5 minutes? You know, can you leave the TV on?
But nocturnal emissions is like when you're asleep, and you ejaculate during your sleep.
Yeah, see, I've never had a wet dream
No?
before. No, and it's really. I had an awkward conversation about that with my dad one time. I think I was like 13, and he told me about it, and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" It's like you come when you sleep, and I'm like, "That's never happened to me."
All excited, all pissed off. Why the fuck hasn't that happened to me?
I was like, "That's fucking weird," you know. And I've heard, you know, that's a thing, but like it's never happened to me. I guess it's because maybe it skipped me. I don't know, or maybe they're just like I'm not good enough for that.
It usually skips a generation. It skipped my dad, and it probably skipped my grandpa and my dad, and fucking went like I'm coming for 2 generations while I'm sleeping.
Probably so. I mean, I've never asked any of my other cousins, hey, you ever, you know, they're probably like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Dude, that's something to bring up during Thanksgiving dinner.
Like, hey, I want to give thanks to not having wet dreams. What are you talking about? Yeah, you guys never had a wet dream? I've never had a wet dream. What the fuck? You know, just while we're like eating mashed potatoes with gravy and slurping down a turkey or something, you know. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is weird sometimes. Conversations like at Thanksgiving always lead to like shit that happens on Christmas, and then like after Christmas, you have like this weird relationship with your family, like going into the next year. Yeah. Oh man, that's happened to me several times.
Usually, like I remember this one time. It was years back when I was like full-fledged vegan, like no meat, nothing. Like I was hardcore into this. Didn't wear leather. All my toothpaste, all my products, they were all vegan. Which I mean now. I think I don't think all products are vegan, whatever. But I was led to believe that all products that I was using were vegan. And my aunt every year would invite me to Thanksgiving dinner, and she would always tell me, "You're invited, but keep your liberal vegan hippie talk to yourself when you're at my house for Thanksgiving. We don't want to hear it. We want to have a nice family Thanksgiving dinner without you talking about what's his name? Fucking
Trump.
Trump. Yeah, Trump. Trump's a sick vegan, I heard.
Probably.
No, that Joaquin Phoenix, there we go. He's been he's been vegan since he was like fucking 3 years old. I think all his life he's been vegan. Joaquin Phoenix.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, he narrated that one film called here, let me look it up. Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, he's been him, and I think like his whole family too.
That's a shame. Can never experience a good burger. You're just like, no, I'm okay. You know, gotta eat this veggie plant-based burger.
Earthlings. There we go. That's what it's called.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't even know he narrated it. Like I watched it like years, like when it came out in 2005. It's
it's been that long.
Huge veganism propaganda in here. This movie actually turned me. I was watching, I was just like,
really?
I was like, whoa. Like it talked about like all the slaughterhouses and the factory mills and where how the animals were treated and how they got mutilated and all that stuff. So I don't know. Earthlings is an American 2005 American documentary film about humanity's use of other animals as pets, food, clothing, entertainment, and for scientific research. Yeah, it wasn't just food. It talked about pets and clothing, entertainment, and animal abuse and science research.
Yeah, I remember like it being a big thing a couple of years ago, especially like with like the circus, like the Barnum and Bailey circus and stuff like that, with their animals, and then finding out like they mistreat like the elephants and shit like that. I personally I love animals, and I wouldn't want to hurt an animal. I mean, they have feelings just like us. They're they can't speak for themselves. They can't tell you, what the fuck are you hitting me for?
Yeah.
So it's like I would, if I could, I would be like an advocate for animals. And I've seen like those videos of like the slaughterhouses. It's like I can't look at it, and it's really sad. But I'm like, yo, this shit is good though. Some people might find that insensitive, but it's like, I mean, we've been doing this for
millions of years.
Millions of years. I mean, forever. And now, like, people have like I get it if you do it inhumanely and just like don't give a fuck. It's like I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. But there should be a better way, I guess, to do that.
Yeah, but it's tough. Like, hey, what would be a better way?
I don't know. Maybe just to put them to sleep before they do that. Like, sedate them. I mean, whatever the word is called. Like, just put them to sleep and just like. Okay,
check this out.
Now we can do whatever we want to.
Check this out. What do you think about this? The film draws parallels between speciesism, racism, sexism. What do you think about that? Is that comparable? Do you think speciesism and racism and sexism is comparable to how we treat animals versus how we treat other human beings?
If they want to. I mean, they could put any kind of narrative in it and be like, see, this draws similar to racism. We're being racist to these animals. And it's like, no, dog, it's just a cow, bro. I think, and this is just my opinion. I mean, I feel like the left kind of like try to like put so much things together. So like, it's like a combo menu where it's like, you get this, but you also get that and that and this and a little bit of that. And it's like, it'll, they can throw that into anything. I mean, damn, I was going to say something about it, but like they can draw anything that like, oh, this is racist, It's like, well, not really. Yeah. It's not really racist, And I joke about that too. Like I have friends who are like liberal and I'm like, see, you're being racist toward, I'll do the whole thing where it's like my body, my choice. And they're like, no, it doesn't really align. It's like, hey man, it goes with everything else. Might as well. Hey, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. My body, my choice, But I mean, I could see that where it's like, they would try to like insinuate that and you're like, and try to make, like, oh, it kind of bases off of that. So I see.
Yeah. Of course, it's the same concept. Like speciesism is a term in philosophy that is used to regarding the treatment of individuals of different species. Of course, that is exactly like racism. It's exactly like what was the other?
Sexism.
It's the same concept, right? I mean. Mm-hmm. By definition, it's not a person's race. It's not a person's, fucking genitals. It's clear it's the same concept, but just different nuances and I guess different terms. Mm-hmm. But I don't know about comparing animal agriculture to racism is necessarily the same because you're treating another you don't treat animals the way that you treat humans. I take that back. Some people do. If they have a pet,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm. And I'm guilty of that. I'm not gonna lie. My dog has some sweaters and some t-shirts, jersey. You know, but I don't treat her like a human. I mean, I don't want to abuse the
Yeah.
animal because that's
Terrible.
Not me. You know, exactly. But I can see some people comparing having a dog or a cat to having a children, to having not children, having a child. You know, I see people really, like, they'll push their dogs in a stroller and paint their nails and give them human names, and it's kind of like I feel like there's a little too.
But once you start sleeping with it and taking it out on dates, and
you do build a bond with them. I mean, my dog does sleep with me sometimes, and you have that human bond with an animal.
But I was going more along the lines of like you roofing them and
sexual, boning them.
Yeah, which some people do.
You might want.
I mean, we're not.
I mean, Tom DeLonge had a song. Blink-182 had a song that says "I want to fuck a dog in the ass." So you might want to call him and see if if he's done that yet.
Dong? What's the guy's name?
Tom
DeLonge. He wrote a song about that.
Yes, I think it was either him or it was the bass player. What's his name? Mark. I was gonna say Mark Ruffalo. Forgot his name.
Mark Ruffalo's he's constantly running in my mind. He's a handsome man.
He is. I mean, and he's the Incredible Hulk. So I mean, that's another thing too.
He was a good Hulk, by the way.
Yeah, I think so. I think he brought more of a human aspect to it. I think with the other Hulks, they were just like you couldn't connect to them, And Hulk's like one of my favorite characters. But I think with Mark Ruffalo, what he brought to the table was like, he's a monster, but he can bring in human aspect to it, where it's like people can relate to it. Like, I flew off the handles and I became a fucking green ass monster that destroyed half of New York. I can't connect to it, but I can connect to feeling like there's a side of you really don't want to bring out because you're embarrassed of it or something like that.
Yeah, he also brought like a very intelligent, like Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner was a scientist, right?
Yeah, he's one of the smartest genius in all of Marvel comics.
I think conveying that intelligence through Bruce Banner through Mark Ruffalo was just genius. Edward Norton's Hulk, I didn't connect very well. I don't connect very well with Edward Norton's films at all. Actually,
no.
He's a great actor. I'm not shitting on Edward Norton, but there's some movies, like not all movies, but some movies. I mean, we can say that about all actors.
Yeah. I couldn't connect with his Hulk either. And his Hulk looked more like an anime character than it looked like.
Yeah.
Like it would be him like in Hulk form. I never liked that. I was like, why does he look like an anime Hulk? It's weird.
I never watched the film. I'm just talking shit.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm talking shit too. I mean, I've seen it. But I'm like, a lot of people who are listening to this might agree with me, and they're like, yeah, he kind of does look very anime. Why? So, but I like comic books. I like Marvel movies. I like all that stuff. That's my
like. How
stuff.
deep are you into the MCU?
Pretty deep. Like sometimes I'll do a whole like marathon. I watch the TV shows. I'll go and watch the movies. Like ever since I've been with my girlfriend, we've gone to like every Marvel movie in the theaters, and it's gone as far as where like we would go see like midnight showings. I used to go with like my brother and my cousin. I was really obsessed with Spider-Man when I was younger. This is embarrassing, but I haven't talked about this on the podcast yet. So there was this play that I was cast in, and I didn't like the character that I was. I was like, this is a stupid character. So I was like, hey, can I rewrite my character? And I'm like fucking like 11, 12 years old, 10, 11, 12. And they're like, yeah, sure. So I was like, I'm going to base my character off of Spider-Man, off of Peter Parker. And I watched all the movies and like researched and like, I was like, this is my character. And like, really, I feel like I was trying to make this whole play a Spider-Man theater musical. It's embarrassing to talk about, but it's like, I literally wanted to be fucking Spider-Man, so I pretty much made my character a Peter Parker-ish kind of person. And sadly, the play never happened, but that's an embarrassing thing I did when I was younger. I rewrote my character in the play to be like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man the musical.
That's because I connected with Peter Man. Yeah. I mean, I connected with Peter Parker so much when I was younger because...
Who didn't want to be
I
Peter
wasn't
Parker?
smart.
Who didn't want to be Spider-Man 9, 8 years old?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I grew up with the Spider-Man movies when they came out, the Tobey Maguire one. So, you know, those movies have been a staple in my life and made me the person who I am today. So,
what did you think of the most recent one?
Oh,
What is it called? No Way Out? No Way Home? No Way Out?
Yeah.
No Way Home.
I don't necessarily like the movie titles because I think like they're very shitty. The whole new Spider-Man movie titles, it's like Homecoming and No Way Home and Homeward Bound and shit. And I'm like,
Home Alone.
Why does everything Home Alone, Home Alone 2,
Home Improvement.
It's shit like.
Oh, that'd be awesome, dude! Imagine.
Tim Allen just comes out. I'm like, what the fuck is
Dude,
this?
Tim Allen as Spider-Man? Fuck yeah.
Well, he's also selling coke like he used to do in the 70s. He's Spider-Man, but he has a day job where he's selling coke. Across the border.
Peter Parker. But
works for the cartel and shit like that, but that's funny. It's like, why would Spider-Man work for the cartel? It's like he's Spider-Man, but it's like he's helping. It's but
Doc Ock is just making.
like
he's like a Walter White character. He's just fucking making meth with Spider-Man.
Or he's Pablo Escobar or something.
Oh, that's a better one. Well, actually, Pablo Escobar can be. What was that? The Kingpin? There is a Kingpin character in Spider-Man, wasn't there?
His name. Yeah, there is. It's a big white guy. So. Yeah, you can make him Pablo Escobar. We'll just call him Brown. Him Brown.
So
why not? Culture appropriation.
No Way Home. What'd you think?
I loved it. Like I was saying, I had to see the movie when it came out, so we went to the most earliest showing, which was like 3:00. So my plan was to go see this movie, so then I would avoid any spoilers because, like I said, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I have a lot of friends and family members, and I'm a part of a lot of groups that talk about comic books and Spider-Man. So I was like, I'm gonna beat to the punch. I'm gonna watch this movie, and I loved it. I wish I would have seen it at a midnight showing because it seemed like everybody had more fun than I did when I saw it. There was really no like excitement. I mean, people kind of clapped, and that's it. But like, I was like fucking giddy as fuck. My girlfriend's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "It's fucking Spider-Man." You know, I'm a fucking almost 30-year-old man. I'm like, "It's fucking Spider-Man." You know, I gotta. So, but I loved it. Probably one of the best Spider-Man movies out there. Shit. So, and I'm excited for the new ones that are coming out.
So there's new ones coming out. I've watched it, and I'll give you my 2 cents about it. Great film. I loved. If you haven't watched it by now, I'm sorry, but spoiler alerts. Like when Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield came out, and it was just all three of them, Tom Holland. That was just fucking cool, man. Like how has that been done ever in any fucking franchise?
Not in a live action. I mean, in
right.
Cartoons.
Yeah.
But like to see different generational Spider-Man. I mean, of course, us millennials were very drawn to the Tobey Maguire
Yeah.
Spider-Man, you know. And then after that, they like Andrew Garfield. I wasn't really a fan of Andrew Garfield, but like I can see what they were trying to do with this Spider-Man, and of course the younger generation likes Tom Holland, but and of course I do too. But to see all three of them interact with each other
it was fucking cool.
It's magical. It's magical. You know, it's something that would happen in like an alternate universe.
Yeah. And basically that was the basis of the film, of having multiple universes, which was like the 10-year-old boy in me was just fucking was just that was it. Like I can die happy, maybe. I don't know.
Wait, well, yeah. I mean, I could have been. I was like, let's go see. We saw it again. We saw it twice.
Okay.
I think like a couple of days later. So I got to see it again, but I got to pinpoint out like certain like Easter eggs.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea.
And stuff like that, so. And it's supposed to be coming out soon on like Blu-ray, so of course I'm gonna buy that. But yeah, Spider-Man's one of my favorites.
I'm lazy and cheap. I usually just watch the movie and then I go home and watch. I search up Easter eggs of the new whatever fucking movie I watched on YouTube. Yeah.
Just like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I missed that one. Okay, all right, next one, next video. All right. Yeah. Did you watch the Matrix movie?
Yeah, I do that with a lot of them. No, I didn't.
Save your money.
I saw the first
Save
movie
your money.
like a very long time ago, and I heard the fourth one was like really just.
It was just a stretch. I think it was just too much of a stretch. Hopefully, if they come back and do a fifth one, I don't know. Like the first three films were just so like. The first Matrix, the original Matrix in 1999, like there was no other fucking movie like that in that time. And like the second one was cool, the third one, whatever. But yeah, this one, man, it was tough. It was tough watching. I actually went to the theater by myself. I do this quite often, and I think this is something that maybe people do in their 20s, but after I turned 30, I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to start going to movie theaters by myself. It's fucking amazing. I take an edible right before I go to the fucking movies. I was watching The Matrix, right? And it was hitting me. Like, that's when the edible was just like, whoa, you know, like it was coming out. Like I felt it, like when I was sitting in my chair. And then some fat fuck was sitting in my seat that I fucking bought. Dude, I specifically picked that spot because it was like the best. Think of the best seat in the house when you're at the theater. Right there, center row. You're not too low, you're not too high. You're just fucking perfectly watching the film. And this fat fuck was right there in my spot. I was too high to say anything. Usually I'm very you know, I have a big mouth. Usually I'd be like, "Hey dude, you're in my seat. Like, can I sit there?" But I was just too high to even fucking interact. I was like, "You know, I'm not this guy's big. Like if anything happens, like I'm done. He'll kick my ass. I'm not down to get my ass kicked in the theater while being stoned, you know, watching The Matrix." But anyways, so I'm there, I'm watching the film, and I hear fucking like noise, like banging noise, like outside. And me, I'm fucking stoned as shit. I'm watching The Matrix, and I don't know why I was thinking about this, but I was like, fuck, I'm gonna die. Like there's people outside the theater fucking dying right now. They're getting shot. I thought it was a Columbine thing happening at the fucking theater.
did it happen with that one time with the Batman movie where that crazy guy went in?
Yes. And that's the whole time. I think for like at least 30 to 45 minutes, I was thinking that. And I had to pee so bad because I had like a big gulp of Coke. I think it was Pepsi, Coke, whatever. And I couldn't go to the restroom. Like I was scared for my life. and like I waited for somebody to leave to go outside, and I waited for them to come back because I knew if they left and I didn't hear like a gunshot or anything, like they were safe, and they came back. I was like, okay, they're safe. So I went, used the restroom, came back. Nobody's dying today, so I was like, okay, now I can enjoy this movie in the wrong seat. It was terrible, man.
That's I, I I probably would think the same thing too if I was on an edible. But yes, going to the movies by yourself is like the greatest thing ever. I used to do it all the time. When I was in high school, I would tell my parents, "Hey, I want to go see a movie." Oh, okay. Here's some money or whatever. And I would go see a movie by myself. I wouldn't invite anybody. I saw tons of movies by myself, or I would see them with my cousin. We saw a lot of terrible movies together. But yeah, dude, going to the movies by yourself is like the best because you only pay for your ticket. You can buy popcorn, soda, icy candy, all to yourself. And then once if you're taking an edible or not, you sit there in your little comfy, recliner
Yep.
chair, turn the heater on, and just enjoy the movie. Without any distractions or people asking you, "What's going on?" And like, "What's happening there? What's good?" And I'm like, "Please shut up." I'm trying to watch this goddamn movie. It's really annoying, but she doesn't do that. But sometimes I'm just like, I'm not in it, and I'm just like, I'm
Not my
watching this
current
movie.
girlfriend. She doesn't do that. No, I'm the opposite. I'm the person the girlfriend you're talking about asking questions about a movie. That's me. Like I don't shut up. Like nobody wants to take me to the movies. Actually, it wasn't even my idea to go to the movies by myself. It was actually my girlfriend's. Yeah, she was like, "Go to the movies by yourself, please, for the love of God. Uh, go watch the movie first, watch it, and just ask yourself questions. And when the both of us go out to watch the movie, shut the fuck up and just watch the movie. You've already seen it, so if you're asking questions, you're a dumbass. I'm sorry, but go to the movies by yourself." But that is, I wish I would have known this activity years ago.
Mm-hmm. I think it's because a lot of people like would make fun of people that would go to the movies by themselves. They're like, "Oh, you're a loser. You don't have any friends or a girlfriend." But to me, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, dude! I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see this movie by myself. I'm gonna enjoy myself. I don't have to hear um, people asking questions, and I can just sit there and just have a good time and watch the movie. I can laugh. I can cry. I can go to the restroom. I won't miss it. I wouldn't give a fuck. But um, like I said, I used to go to midnight showings, and those would be
Yeah.
fun too because it's like all the people like wait for the. I don't know what it is now. I used to watch midnight showings, but I got smart and I was like, I'm just gonna go see the early showing of the movie at like 7 or 8 o'clock because once you get older, you really don't want to be out there at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning after a movie's done, and then you're just like, I gotta go to work at right now, you know. So that's why I started going to early showings at like 7 or 8 because it makes more sense and it's a lot cheaper too. So
Absolutely. Do you ever fall asleep in a movie theater?
I have a
Yeah.
couple of times, and it's not just because the movie's boring. It's just because either I'm tired or the movie's boring. Like I fell asleep during Black Panther
Okay.
when that came out, and I don't want people to think I fell asleep because the movie's boring or because there's black people in the
Mhm.
movie. I fell asleep because we had went to dinner, and that was like I think it was during like Valentine's Day weekend when the movie came out. So we went to go have sushi, and then she wanted to get daiquiris. So we got daiquiris, and I drank mine pretty fast. And she was like, "Well, I'm not done with mine." I was like, "Well, the movie starts in like 20, 30 minutes. Let's go." So I finished hers, and as soon as I sit in the seat, within 10 minutes, I'm out like a light, just like, snoring and all that. And I think she said that some people looked back and looked at me with like disgust, like, oh, this dude, this POC is falling asleep during this movie full of black people. You know, it's one of the greatest American achievements. I was like, whatever. And then I woke up to like a scene and I was like, what the fuck did I miss? And I was like, oh, it's over. But I did watch it again and I was like, oh, this is what I missed. It's like a really good movie. But that's one of the times I fell asleep during the movie, and I was like, I probably shouldn't have drank before.
Imagine going to the movie and knowing you're gonna fall asleep, and you take your sleep apnea machine.
It's like, anybody got a plug-in?
Hey, excuse me, can you run this extension cord outside into the through the hallway and down past Theater 17 to the concession stand? Everybody's in line for popcorn. Who the fuck unplugged the popcorn machine? Why is there a fucking sleep apnea machine connected to the concession stand?
Well, now with movie theaters and their recliner chairs, they probably have like a plug-in right there. I would get like one of those adapters for like a battery power bank, and just hook it up, and you just hear that. Where it's like, turn that shit off. It's like, hey man, this is how I sleep. You paid like $20 to fall asleep in a movie theater with the CPAP machine. It was like, yes, what the fuck? My body, my choice. This is America.
AMC now with sleep apnea machines. Only in Texas.
I wouldn't. Hey, that'd be the best thing ever. It's like, what movie do you want to watch? What's the most boring one ever? Okay, which machine? Which?
Oh, you can pick your machines there. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if you guys have this at your theaters, but do you have like pick the seats and shit like that too?
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate picking a seat because then it's like.
Quick question.
Can I just sit wherever I
Quick
want?
question.
Yes.
I honestly think this is a Mandela effect for me. Have we always picked our seat going to the movie theater?
No, this started like, I'm gonna say maybe like 10 years ago, maybe less than 10 years.
Okay.
Ago. Because when I used to go to like Cinemark or even AMC, you would just buy the movie ticket and sit wherever you want.
That's how I remember it.
It was like that for like a very long time, and then because I remember like once they started like, oh, you have to pick a seat now, I got like fucking pissed. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, why the hell am I have to pick a seat? It's like, I'm buying a movie ticket that's already like $15. I should be able to, if I want to sit the fucking top of the movie theater, I should, you know. But yeah, it didn't happen until like 10 years ago, I think.
So it's not a Mandela effect. I thought I was onto something.
No, because I remember but I think it's always been like that, where it's like, you know, you go sit wherever you want. Like I said, I think it happened about like 10 years ago. I could be wrong, could be less than that, but I remember like getting pissed because I didn't want to pick my seat. I was like, I want to sit wherever I want to, and I do now. So I don't give a fuck. I'm like, oh, you're sitting in E.
Oh, dude, you're one of the guys that I was talking about. That was you.
That's if nobody's there. That's if nobody's there. If I go to a movie and like nobody shows up, like what did I go see?
Maybe because they were scared of confrontation, like I was. Maybe there was just a stoner that came into the movie theater. You're sitting in their chair and they're just like, I don't want to bother this guy. He looks like he could fucking rip me a new one. I'm gonna leave him alone. I'm gonna sit down.
I don't think it's because of that. Like, I forgot what movie we saw the other day. It was like a couple. Oh, it was Batman, the new Batman movie. Nobody was in the theater, like other than like another couple, and I happened to pick like the seat like right next to them, being stupid as fuck. And I was like, we're just gonna sit 2 seats down. It's like nobody's gonna come and fucking bother us. So I only do that when like it's an early show, because if nobody buys a ticket like 10 minutes before, it's free game.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
But I do that sometimes, where I was like, you're sitting in my seat, and I was like, I'm sorry, I thought this was America, except for everyone. Oh no, yeah, I'm wrong. Oh, my bad. I moved.
Damn fucking communist theater.
It's like, how am I gonna connect my CPAP machine? This is the only
This
seat
is
that's connected to the.
this is the only seat with a plug-in, dude. Come on, it's either life or death. You're in my seat, bro.
It's like,
You're
I'll
in
give
my
you
seat. I went to go see that movie alone. That was a second
the
movie
Batman.
that I went to go see by myself, and it,
It's a good
it's
movie.
really good. Okay, this is the first time I've ever done this. Like I go to the concession stand and I asked the attendant there, or I'm picking up some. What did I get? I think I'm getting like red vines and like a water. And I asked the guy, I'm like, or he asked me first, oh, what movie are you here to see? And I told him, oh, I'm here to see the new Batman movie. You know, I want to see what's about, you know. And I asked him, fucking worst decision ever in my fucking life. I'm never gonna ask any opinion of any concession stand attendant ever about anything in life. I asked him, you know, what did you think of the movie? And he was like, oh, in my opinion, it was way too long. So after he told me that, I'm like, fuck, like, how long am I going to be in this fucking movie theater? And again, I like to take edibles before going to a movie theater. And I was like, oh, shit, like, what the fuck am I getting into? So
Yeah, because it's like a good
it's
3
a
hours.
really long movie.
Yeah.
It's really long. It's a good story. Like, there could have been parts that could have been, you know, like, taken out.
Yeah, that could have
I'm
been
no
cut. I agree. I
I'm
agree with
no
that.
director. I don't go to film school. I don't study any films, but as a avid movie watcher and now an avid loner going to the movies by themselves, I don't, I don't. It was long. It was really long. I'm glad I went to go watch it by myself first, knowing that I'm stupid. I don't Google search any movie before going. Like, usually, typically, that's something you go, how long is the movie, right? Like, how that's somebody,
Mhm.
I didn't, I didn't look into, but it was long.
Yeah. Well, I mean, given that you live in California, I think it's a free pass that you guys can be movie critics,
You think so?
knowing that you have Hollywood in your backyard. I would believe so. Um, but yeah, man, the movie was really good. Like I said, there could have been a few scenes that could have been taken out. It could have been a little bit shorter. But overall, it's a fucking great movie. My girlfriend didn't like the beginning
Mm-hmm.
of the movie. And sorry, like I said, people who haven't seen it, and there's spoilers. Where it opens on the Riddler, like from his point of view, watching whoever he was watching in that window, and he's just like breathing through his
Yeah.
mask. She found that really annoying, and like she was like, "This is too fucking long. Why am I watching this guy breathe very awkwardly and sound sexually uh,
He was.
through his mask?" You know, watching this guy and shit like that. She was like, that should have been cut. She asked everybody that, and I was like, there's a reason why that happened. Is kind of like to set the ambiance in the movie of like this is gonna be weird and awkward and different. But she doesn't like that scene at all.
Yeah. It was just the Riddler and a CPAP machine.
He's like, God damn it! It's like I don't have any fucking plugins up here. That's why he has that mask. It's like a portable CPAP machine. I mean,
Dude, my thing was about that Riddler. I'm not a comic guy. I'm not a comic book guy. I'm your average American. Uh, I'm your average dude. You know, growing up in the '90s. I in my mind, I just have Jim Carrey's Riddler. It's just stapled to my brain. So anything that is mildly different than what Jim Carrey portrayed as the Riddler to be is just wrong to me.
yeah. I think that's what everybody kind of went into. They're like, is this guy going to be over the
Hmm.
top? Is he going to be eccentric? Is he going to be making weird noises? Because I remember Jim Carrey as the Riddler, and I always find it weird. I find him weird. I mean, he's a weird
He's a weird
individual
guy,
to
yeah.
begin with when he does movies. but like his Riddler was just, I think it was over the top, and then he kind of like colored his hair like pink.
It was like pink,
like
red,
that.
something.
I was like, what the fuck is going on with this guy? But I think I liked this Riddler, this new rendition of the Riddler. It was very, I guess, grounded, because it could be somebody for real that could be like that. I mean, I think they said it was based off like the Zodiac killer.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
So,
I can definitely see that. Yeah.
So this is a person that could actually live in our reality, who could be this way and do this type of shit. So that's the scary part, because there are people like that, but I mean, nobody that's gone that far as the Riddler. But I think a lot of people just, I don't know. As a comic book person, you know, knowing who the Riddler is, they kind of expected something else and didn't really expect like this kind of Riddler. But I think they enjoyed it once they saw, I guess, like how the story opened up everything and this and that, just made him like a fucking crazy person. Because I mean, he really is a crazy person, you know, in all honesty, in comic books and stuff like that. So, but yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting. And they did release this deleted scene where like, Batman meets the Joker.
What?
That was supposed to be in the movie, but they took it out, and it's like a good like 5-6 minutes. So it's very interesting. You should check out that.
Yeah, I'm gonna
clip.
check it out. Yeah.
People are hyped over it. People are really hyped because it's like the way the Joker looks is very, very disgusting and disturbing. So they're like, oh fuck yeah, this is gonna be like one of the, you know, Batman 2 is gonna be like one of the greatest Batman movies ever, and blah 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 blah. So, but in my personal opinion, fuck Joker, man. Stop bringing him in every fucking movie. You know, it's like, I get it. That's like the peanut butter to his jelly. But it's like, stop bringing this fucking guy around. It's annoying. You know, I just want to see a good movie, a Batman movie that doesn't have the Joker. But of course they're going to, because that's just who the character is. You know, I don't work for Hollywood, so I don't have a say.
Hollywood, I want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger play Mr. Freeze again in your new Batman movies. Please bring back Mr. Freeze. That's all I'm asking.
He would be more like a leftist, I guess, woke Mr. Freeze, I guess.
Oh, that'd be cool. With his mask on all the time. He's outside with his mask, with his Biden flag.
You're supposed to wear your mask. Yeah, wear your mask all the time, you know.
That's all he does. He doesn't like shoot people like with he like freezes people that don't have their mask on.
Or he freezes like a mask on them.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
They can't talk.
I can see him do that.
You're supposed to wear your mask. Dr. Fauci said so.
Or how about Dr. Fauci playing Mr. Freeze? And they'll call him Dr. Freeze.
He looks more like another character. But he's too rat looking, I think, to be Mr. Freeze. I don't know. It would be interesting to bring back a character who Arnold Schwarzenegger made so fucking corny. Because Mr. Freeze is a really interesting guy. I mean, he's very. I could go on about it, but I think a lot of Mindbuzz people be like, "Hurry the fuck up! I don't want to hear about this guy."
One thing before about the movie is it was a pretty kick-ass mob movie.
Yeah, it was. It's really good. Really good detective mob.
Yeah, and it really portrayed the Batman as a really good detective. And he actually worked with Gotham Police. I think that was one piece of the Batman that, you know, I've never really thought about or really watched in the past movies. I think that was just fucking genius.
Yeah. Because they don't really bring that out. They play more on the eccentric billionaire playboy guy who's got all the money and got all these models and cars and this and that. They play more on that. That's been like the last couple of Batman for like the last 40 something years. They fit maybe more.
Long time.
I think with Adam West.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is more of like they play more on his detective because he's supposedly the world's greatest detective in the comics. So it's like,
Yeah.
fuck it, might as well,
Yeah.
Amp that up and make start that.
Yuli, this was cool, man. Thanks for stopping by and talking to me.
Hey, thanks for inviting me on Mindbuzz Guild. I've had a really good time just talking about Alex Jones and Batman and my CPAP machine.
CPAP machine and
one day have. I'll start taking with me to everywhere I go. So, but yeah, man, I really, really appreciate this. You inviting me on. It's good to just talk with other podcasters and collaborate.
I'm gonna follow up about your appointment. So I'm really good about following up. So I hope you take care of that. Tell us where we can find your podcast and your Instagram and whatever links that you have. So go ahead, take some time.
All right. Well, guys, you can find my podcast, Inside the Northside Podcast, available everywhere you listen to podcasts. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Anchor, all that good stuff. If you want the links to my social media, you can go to my link tree, which is www.linktr.ee/all-caps-ITNS. Has the links to my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, my Grindr, my Tinder profile, my LinkedIn profile. No, I'm just joking. But it has the links to all my social media. It has the links to the article that we were talking about earlier in the show. It also has the links to like my Cash App and stuff like that. So if you guys like my podcast and want to donate to a good cause, you can donate there. I have PayPal, I have Venmo, I have Cash App, I have all of that. You can find my podcast uploaded every Saturday at 9 a.m. I have a really good couple of guests that are coming on this month of April, so be on the lookout for that. I'm very excited for this season 6 that I'm currently in. So, but like I said, if you guys have any other questions, you can always look me up on Instagram. You can go to my link tree, like I said. If you have any interest of being on the podcast, send me an email, send me a DM in my Instagram. So.
Cool. And all the links to Yuli's Grindr will be down in the show description that we can follow.
Yes.
No, but all the links to Yuli's podcast and all the cool shit that he's doing over there on Inside the Northside will be down in the show description. And that was another one. Yuli, thanks again for stopping by, and thanks everybody for listening. And if you're on YouTube, thanks for watching. And I love you guys. And that was it. Cool. All right, Yuli. We'll see ya. All right, guys. Take care.
All right, man. Have a good one.
The Mindbuzz Podcast.